Good morning. Before I start, I need to take a minute to comment on the news about our fellow Canadians Robert Schellenberg and Michael Spavor. The denial of Robert Schellenberg's appeals must be seen for what it is: a foreign government planning to take the life of a Canadian for political reasons. The use of the death penalty is abhorrent, but to impose it for political reasons is inexcusable. We will be watching tonight's verdict, and we won't be alone. The Chinese Communist Party needs to know that the world is watching, and we will be asking tough questions. Canadians just enjoyed celebrating the amazing achievements of our athletes in Tokyo. I know how hard our athletes are training for Beijing, but we are approaching a point where it won't be safe for Canadians, including Olympic athletes, to travel to China. The outcomes of the Spavor and Kovrig cases will help us answer that question. Avant de commencer, je dois prendre un moment pour commenter les nouvelles concernant nos deux citoyens canadiens, Robert Schellenberg et Michael Spavor. Le rejet des appels de Robert Schellenberg doit être considéré pour ce qu'il est: un gouvernement étranger qui prévoit de prendre la vie d'un Canadien pour des raisons politiques. Le recours à la peine de mort est déjà horrible, mais l'imposer pour des raisons politiques est inexcusable. Nous écouterons le verdict de ce soir, et nous ne serons pas les seuls. Le Parti communiste chinois doit savoir que le monde entier le regarde. Nous poserons des questions difficiles. Les Canadiens ont pris plaisir à célébrer les exploits de nos athlètes à Tokyo. Je sais à quel point nos athlètes s'entraînent durement pour Beijing, mais nous approchons d'un moment où il ne sera plus sécuritaire pour les Canadiens, y compris les athlètes olympiques, de se rendre en Chine. Les résultats des affaires Spavor et Kovrig nous aideront à répondre à cette question. But today I'm talking about a point of our Canada's recovery plan. We will recover the jobs lost in the pandemic within the next year. But it's not enough to just create jobs. We also need to ensure that Canadian workers have the skills they need to fill those jobs and build a better life for themselves and their families. That's why I'm here to announce how Canada's recovery plan will invest in job training opportunities, particularly for our skilled trade workers, to better prepare them for the jobs of today and tomorrow, as well as investing in opportunities to bring women and new Canadians into the skilled trades. Le plan de rétablissement du Canada va offrir des possibilités de formation professionnelle. On va aider les travailleurs de métiers spécialisés. On va mieux les préparer pour les emplois d'aujourd'hui et ceux de demain. Et on va aider les femmes et les nouveaux arrivants à choisir les métiers spécialisés. A significant barrier facing those who are trying to break into the skilled trades is a lack of apprenticeship opportunities. That's why Conservatives will double the apprenticeship job creation tax credit for the next 3 years to help create more places for apprentices. We know that the COVID-19 pandemic has dramatically altered the workplace, changing the needs of both employers and workers. To address this, we will create the Canada Job Training Fund, a historic $250 million investment over 2 years that will provide grants to organizations to deliver training programs. On va créer les fonds de formation professionnelle du Canada. C'est un investissement historique de 250 millions de dollars sur 2 ans. Cela va faciliter l'accès au programme de formation professionnelle. This fund will be open to everyone, from unions to employers to educational and community organizations. We will fund programs to give laid-off workers immediate access to training, reach out to traditionally underrepresented groups, help tourism and hospitality workers who've been hit hard by the recession, support the talent needs of small businesses, and otherwise help workers get the training they need. We also know that many Canadians are looking to invest in themselves by learning new skills, and that many workers who've been displaced by the pandemic want to train for a new career. To support them, we will create the Working Canadian Training Loan to provide low-interest loans of up to $10,000 to people who take it upon themselves to upgrade their skills, empowering workers to determine what training they need rather than having the government tell them. We depend on our skilled trade workers every day. It's time the government invested in them to ensure that they have the skills they need to secure good jobs. Le Canada a besoin des travailleurs des métiers spécialisés. Un gouvernement conservateur va investir pour s'assurer qu'ils ont les compétences requises pour trouver des bons emplois. Surtout, on va s'attaquer à la pénurie de travailleurs qualifiés. Ensemble, on va agir pour l'avenir. Together, we can secure the future. Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
We'll now turn it over to questions. One question, one follow-up, please.
Good morning, sir. Simon Dingley from CBC Network News. You mentioned the Robert Schellenberger situation and the two Michaels. Should Canada be considering a boycott of next February's Beijing Olympics because of the situation with China?
Yes, Canada should be considering a boycott. And I've said we're going to be watching the decisions very closely. Beijing has to know that the world is watching the genocide taking place against the Uyghurs. They've watched what's been happening in Hong Kong and the situation with Mr. Schellenberg, Mr. Spavor, and Mr. Kovrig. The world is watching. And we're proud of our athletes. We're celebrating. But we also have to recognize the actions of a country that wants to host the games to bring people together. And we'll have to think long and hard on whether we reward a country like that with the games.
Puis-je avoir les mêmes réponses en français pour Radio-Canada aussi, s'il vous plaît?
Il y a des risques maintenant avec le Parti communiste chinois. Et on doit avoir une approche très sérieuse. Et les Olympiques, il y a un risque avec un pays, avec les problèmes avec les droits humains pour les Uyghurs, le génocide, la situation à Hong Kong. Et on doit examiner notre participation dans les Olympiques à Beijing.
And there is speculation, of course, as early as this Thursday, we could have an election call. What are your thoughts on that?
Now is not the time for an election. Now is the time to make sure we're ready for the risks of a fourth wave. Health and the economic well-being of our country needs to be paramount. And I've asked Mr. Trudeau to put that first. I'm worried that the Liberals will put their political interest ahead of the national interest. We are talking about ideas for the future, but right now we have to keep people safe. It's not the time for an election.
Une élection, c'est possible cette semaine? Votre réponse?
On va voir. Comme d'habitude, les libéraux vont placer leurs intérêts avant les intérêts des Canadiens. Et il y a un risque d'une quatrième vague de la pandémie et on doit avoir une approche ciblée sur la santé, le bien-être des Canadiens et notre économie, nos PME en crise. Et c'est pourquoi aujourd'hui, j'ai eu une annonce sur les travailleurs, sur nos entreprises et on doit aider les secteurs les plus touchés.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.